And then we fix the audio. That should be good right there, right? Bam, 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 bam. Because I'm negative 20. It's at negative 35. Happy Friday, people. Sorry I'm late. Doing some recalculating, reprogramming of the stream to get it set up in a way that allows me to send it to multiple places at once. For a while I was doing the 30-minute, like 20 to 30 minute pre-show on Facebook and then moving people over to YouTube, and then I'd record and stream on YouTube, doing the policy show for about an hour to two, and then I would cut that up into clips, which I would then post again. I'm still gonna, that part I've just fallen behind because the editing on top of work and job situation, and we'll get into this a little bit here in a moment, but the recalibrating of schedule with knowing kind of what the balance I need to have is, and where to put focus so that can move towards goals more effectively. And we'll do a little bit of analyzing that today and tonight. So let me just check in. To some of my settings. Okay, so I need this window open where I can see chat. Excuse me. It says I am live in all my places. Hello, people. I believe if someone were to throw something in the chat, regardless if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, I should be able to see it. And those are all the places we're currently live. So new channels, new potential audiences, and ways to get out the message. Yeah. Today's show is a lot of more prep so that next week's show, I can include additional segments and parts that I've been wanting to add in, but can be hard with a full work and volunteer schedule that keeps you busy. But our goal this year in making the switch and stop one of those jobs next week is to do transition more into something that supports me more in the work I'm doing, so I carry around less stress and also have more time and bandwidth for building out some of our community-driven backlog, and work on a really cool project for next month, which is the card game that we're developing. So more to come on that and getting people those updates. So let's pause the music for a sec. It is a jam. It is a festive jam. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Community Driven and our Policy Angles show. I guess I can. The biggest bill I watched was going till about 11 last night. Um, and I think one of the bottlenecks about how I currently do the show that I want to correct is not having the impact I want to have or that can have if have a fully built out show as I had imagined with time to put into production and research. Part of things is tracking the legislative session. Um, there are so many different aspects, and trying to do news coverage, but being even late a little bit with the video editing and pushing of some of the coverage makes it maybe not entirely like wasted because there's still the knowledge of learning and being able to reflect on and see the perspectives of what is good or bad about a bill. But I did have hope when I created the show is it would help reach more people and involve them into the process where we can help cover these issues a little bit together. And I think when I was picking up a job, I just didn't think how much it would exhaust me, um, on top of helping step into to lead a volunteer org. Um, Here we are though with some of the training and learnings that we're definitely picking up on the streaming side, like getting to a point where can stream to multiple profiles and feel comfortable doing so, um, and building out what other types of political activism and change making we can make happen and ways we can do that make it interesting. So those have been some of my highlights so far. And I think we have to return to some of the goals we made and readjust them, or at the very least readjust ourselves because we've fallen behind on the pace and the like focus I was setting for myself. And then rather than just like keep this up like normal, I need to be able to admit that, share that, and then change so it is either having like I'm able to find a better balance and like something productive, or the show itself is. I have been enjoying getting more comfortable with streaming and streaming different types of things and sharing different parts of myself as I stream different types of things. Um, and the next step for that is just like making sure that the content that I have the energy to put into is achieving a goal or like a focus, or still feels like something I am passionate about, and that I'm not falling behind or doing something that is no longer working. Um, so a bit about today's episode. We may look at some Colorado policies near the tail end. There is the phase out bill that went to committee that went till about 11:30 p.m., practically midnight. And then the committee, rather than vote no, they voted to like postpone it indefinitely, which seems like an odd choice, but yeah, so we might look at that one a little bit. I feel like that much footage of testimony is daunting. Um, I was listening to it a little bit last night. I was scanning through, and it's like there's some people that are like full on climate change deniers talking to people with like researched facts and like public testimony from the people who live in certain areas. Um, but in the end, it didn't seem like enough people wanted to. Yeah, so we might look at that one, and we may look at another bill um, by not an arch nemesis, no, but someone who has personally attacked me, not physically. Anywho, uh, so we have those two bills. I just want to make note of the two bills I want to potentially look at. But for now, we're gonna look at our goals that we set about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and see what we need to do going into next week, so that some of the goals I'm just like not even getting close to reaching, and so I need to recalibrate my tactics or be like drop some goals if I don't think in the time we have left in the Colorado legislative session is doable. I mean, this show will, and some type of policy news show will continue to be here and adapt. And working on my YouTube video series is where I put some of my production time and moving forward. But for now, let me pull up the Google Doc of this Policy Angles show. I'm gonna throw the music back on while we. I should be really quick with this though. Here. That's a good doc. Goals. Where did I put my goals? Predictions. There we go. It's a normal Google Doc. And if I bring it over here, and then I will share screen. So you go here. Okay, and we'll put on music here in one moment, but let me intro this doc that we made. When was it last? I can put on something low key. Okay. Background, synth, chillin'. Alright. So if we look at history, February 2nd, made these, and that's gonna be probably way too loud, music-wise. Alright. February 2nd, we made our 2024 predictions about our Policy Angles live show, and for our channel. But these were generally set to help create a trajectory of what I was trying to make happen with a Friday live stream around local policy and politics. We just around when I made these goals, the week before, I got a job, and so when I went and made these goals, I think I wasn't ready for the toll, or like I thought I would have a lot more energy, whereas like my job has been taking up some of my like most like productive like present hours, and then when I get back I do take some time to rest, but I am not 100%. I'm not fully rested with my evening work hours. And actually I also got like very sick like 2 days after this. So that was cool. So ultimately, I don't think these were I'm just gonna lower the music a little bit for me. So these goals probably aren't actually that far-fetched to like where we find ourselves now. It's just that in the last 2 months, a few roadblocks and other things coming up as priorities that took away from my ability to market, to do outreach, to set up videos and collaborations and live discussions. Because I've never really made this outreach or made more than a few social media posts, and nothing that's like a personalized like email or some type of marketing campaign. And then even the YouTube videos, which, yeah, I don't know if it's been about at least like a month since I've been able to like edit a full like segment down and do shorts. Or at least feels like a month since I've last done that. And so to recalibrate, I think we just need to do those things. The actions to still move forward as April in starting April, or actions to still move forward March 29. And we'll move this one actually to the bottom. We'll go like this. I think I need to create and use in a legislator email list. A state policy legislator email list, and I'll say even with the governor, governor, senators, house reps, orgs, maybe even. Well, that'd be a different list. House reps was put there. Create local leaders and organizers email list. What else would I need to do to reach additional audiences and get other voices onto a show? This is maybe more long term, but I want like a studio space that can invite people to and or meet up at. Cause then there's like I like that as a thing to build up towards. Create a local leaders and organizers email list. Good lines of communication. I will make these bullet points. try using some dough for social media marketing. Have a normal email list, normal community email list, and social update. Not funnel. It's like the opposite of a funnel. It's like broadcast plan. Good line of communications, and then put the other one as put self out there. And that one is send the emails sharing info and ways people can collaborate with you. Do things you think are cool or helpful. And tell people about it. That's normal. I don't struggle with that one. Oh. And then I just need to set aside edit time to create videos and shorts. And then I just need to stream for 90 minutes when I stream. I still got 70. Sheesh. What are we gonna do for 70 minutes, y'all? Throw ideas in the chat for whatever you want to do for the next 70 minutes. And I may do it. I may just do it. Okie dokies. Okie shmokies. And sponsor segments. This one made sense when I was starting to hit videos and stream amounts more than one. So the idea was show that momentum, show that people are watching the videos, that local traction especially, get local sponsors. Now I feel like I could get sponsors, but not for this. Like, this doesn't have the audience or viewership. I could like put on an event that includes something with sponsors at this point, but it wouldn't probably be this Policy Angles show. I think I'm behind the legislative session, so it feels hard for me, and it's frankly not like I don't have the support to make it my full-time thing. I need to pursue other things going into next month. They're more reliable revenue streams. while doing this supplementally. But yeah, it'll probably just be that we miss a number of these goals, and that's fine. But these things are things we can still do to still not completely fail, but maybe get C's or B's in some of these goals. Or D's, you know, whatever it ends up being, it's whatever. But the pursuit is still on. And I want to catch up on some of this editing so that I feel like next week's shows I can have some more relevant segments. These are mostly like reflective hangout sessions, or at least this week's one. I'm looking at my other legislative predictions. I can share you. So these were predictions I made end of January. And so I'm just checking in with some of these. That's a funny one. At least 3 evenings for committee hearings go past midnight. They've gotten close to midnight. I don't know if any have gone over. Public transportation bills passed with over $6 million going to train and bus programs. Going to this popular progressive bill, housing and environmental change. Okay. So that's our check-in. Man, it's interesting having that like revelation live and while on the show that the thing that is my next step that I am most passionate about and have gotten like good feedback and help set me up for longer term stability and success is not this thing, this Policy Angles live show. Like it's, like I said, it's like supplemental in a way, and like streaming and video editing skill that will universally be helpful, and I can apply that to what I'm up to this upcoming month. But the legislative session here in Colorado, something that I eventually want to cover and be able to influence and like help bring voices to and help bills become better, is not, because it would take so much kind of restructuring of my editing. I mean, the biggest thing is that I don't have, it's not tied to my like revenue model structure. It's like aspirational that I can get maybe work in helping influence the policies and or get to a supportive like community voice and awareness that I become something like a citizens union that can actively put some time and energy in the week to week better than like a 90-minute evening show on Fridays. But you know, the reasons we do it is to live, to learn, to take a chance on a wild vision and see what you learn along the way. So I wonder if this morphs now. Should I like no longer do the Policy Angles live show? Should I retire it for the next month and say I just need to like work on some stuff? Hmm. Um, but they're like, I mean, I can still actively pursue certain bills. Maybe that's the part I'm missing is I'm doing too much of a wild net with a net that I haven't fully constructed, where I'm used to being like the fisherman with working on one thing at a time. And now that I don't have the full other tool, but like working towards working on that, that doesn't mean I can't go back to the fishing rod while I work on the net. So that might just be how this transforms. Um, in lieu of not having some of these segments like um, working yet. Um, we will look at a bill. Ooh, ah. Mm-hmm. I also don't think I just don't do enough promotion. Well, it's a mix of production and promotion. Because the reason I'm not promoting is because I don't feel confident in my production. Or post production, pre production, and then it feels like, why am I promoting when I'm missing those marks? And I think that's one of the things about a live show. Uh, is that you are just constantly, you have these weekly production cycles that you like either hit or miss. And then the grind continues. I mean, I've taken some weeks off, but then as it continues, you need to really work on like the structure of everything, including your own health, for it to work out well or not. Okay, legislators. Her name starts with a B, and she did. Okay, so this is Brandy Bradley. She's a Republican from a county next to, or a district next to mine, and sits on a few committees: Health and Human Services, Statutory Revision, State Civic Military, Veteran Affairs. And these are the bills she's been working on. Sunset bills are like studies typically. I'm Sunset Physical Therapist. We're just gonna read them all and then click on one. Labor Union for School Employees Due Restriction. Controlling how unions use their dues. I'm going to skip the sunset one. Digital education materials concerning measures to enhance the integrity of digital education material. What does integrity mean? Funding for school safety firearm detection systems. Minimum sentence crimes against prostituted children. High acuity crisis for children and youth. High acuity crisis for children. Accessibility for persons in child welfare matters. Improve accessibility. Prohibit foreign ownership, agriculture, and natural resources. Okay, let's look at this one. I saw a video on Twitter today about this one, and then I'm curious about this one. And this one. All right. Minimum sentence of crimes against prostitution. Actions against prostituted children. So currently they're class 3 felonies. These crimes include soliciting, pandering, procurement, keeping, all the things. The bill requires a court to sentence a person convicted. The bill requires a court to sentence a person convicted of one of these crimes to the Department of Corrections for a term of at least the minimum of the presumptive range for a class 3 felony, which is 4 years. Under current law, the crime of pandering is either class 2 or class 3, depending on the conduct involved. Pandering that uses menacing or criminal intimidation to induce a child is a class 2. Commit prostitution is a class 2 felony. The bill requires a court to sentence a person convicted of this type of pandering to the Department of Corrections for a term of at least the minimum, which is 8 years. Department of Corrections for a term at least the minimum of the presumptive range. So I guess currently a judge can give less than the minimum. Does this ever come up in law that someone does one of these crimes and they actually get a small sentence? I feel like that not typically how that goes down. Usually gives, transports, provides, or makes available, or who offers for purpose of prostitution, commits. This is necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, or safety. Public health, peace, health, safety, or for appropriations for the support and maintenance of the departments of the state and state institutions. I guess my thing is like, how often is this actually happening that someone does one of these crimes and somehow the judge forgives it so it's less than the minimum? I feel like at the very least it's actually a number that's higher than the minimum. Isn't it just a judge's job to, because the minimum is still 4 years. I feel like this, I mean, my personal opinion, yeah, they should go away and get severe help to never do this again, and that this is like one of the worst crimes you can commit. It's up there. I feel like it's one of those like political bills because they're just trying to like get political points off something that doesn't happen. Mm. But when was it lost? Oh, so it got lost at committee. Which I guess makes sense. And this is... Um... Here. This is the team. And it went Bradley Bottoms Armagost. Bradley Bottoms Armagost? Armagost. I don't see that name out here. Bradley Bottoms Armagost. Was someone like subbing in? Where are you from, Larimer? Mm, 325. Let's see what this one does. Contracting entity that executes a contract on or after this date with a vendor or provider or curated digital resource collection shall include in the terms of the contract termination clause stating that the contract is material breach and grounds for termination exists. If on 3 separate occasions a collection is found to have advertisements, promotions, or embedded links or URLs that contain material that is harmful to students, or direct students to material that is harmful to students. The harmful is it's like driving. Driving is harmful to students. Can't do anything that would harm the students or put them at risk. It's like, anywho, direct students to material that is harmful to students. A public school employee, contractor, or volunteer shall report, and students, parents, guardians, legal custodians, or community members, interested parties may report that material that is harmful to students to the entity. The report must include the name of the digital collection and the title of the document, the reference number, or keywords used to access the collection. The entity shall notify the vendor or provider and Department of Education department of each reported incident. The vendor or provider must improve the material that is harmful to students within 3 business days after receiving the notice. The bill requires public schools to annually notify interested parties of reporting procedures. Public schools may include information on the websites regarding how to make a report. If a public school contractor enters an agreement with a public authority that permits collection, it's essentially they are doing like culture war stuff where if they deem something is harmful to their precious way of looking at the world, they want to like burn the books and materials or get them taken down from digital collections. Digital book burning. And it didn't. It's under consideration. It's not going anywhere. Okay. An anti-labor union bill. This lady. What The bill permits a labor union that is composed of school employees from directly using union member dues to promote the election or re-election of a public officer or to promote a local or state ballot measure to which the union members has expressed to which the union member has expressed opposition. It's not how a union works. If you don't like it, you leave. Or you pursue persuading others in the union to what you believe should be the thing. And that obviously lost. Okay, you two. I don't think these laws apply at all to our area. Should focus on things you like can think you can get past. It's like you work on this bill, it won't get passed. Maybe your other one, you're living in a world where you think you can convince people it can get done. This one, you could have used that time to create like a water rights bill or a nature protection bill, a healthcare access, or help people dealing with property taxes or unable to live, or running low on social security. I know these are all things that Republicans don't really care about, but it's just interesting. I feel like it's a wasted political seat. Because it's like, what is the world and situation you are looking at where you are actually thinking you're turning this position into like good for your community versus just like making a career and like creating, yes, drama and like conversation and like energy around some of these things, but you're not doing anything with the energy, or at least anything helpful. But you do you, girl. But like, stop. Mm-hmm. It's me trying to be kind, but then like realizing she like has called out being trans or non-binary as like a mental disorder, and like is like a personal attack against you. Okay. Um and then the phase out bill. I want to look at some of the the audio footage, but I just don't know how helpful it is. Um, it just seems like people don't want to touch it because they don't want to like upset oil and gas in an election year. So I feel like a number of bills are kicking the can down the road, but looking for the bills to champion for elections. It's like this weird, like, brownie points versus like toxicity, like game resource management thing, and you want to do the most good, but only if it like doesn't increase short-term toxicity to the point where it like goes over what you can deal with or think that you can deal with for your campaign. It's really interesting, but I feel like it would just be so hard for me to not vote with my like heart. uh I mean, it's like a mix of like my brain and my heart together, but I feel like I understand that you like to be a leader you need to be able to make to use your voice in that way, but I guess other people are just like calculating differently. Mhm. um do I have anything else planned or ramdode? Planned or ramdode? Not really. I'm working on my next Peace Talk video this weekend. Um, Peace Talk is my video series where I try to talk through solutions and history and how do we transition our world so that not our country or any country really is committing heinous war crimes and genocide and murder. Um, and provide solutions and ways we can get there. So we're gonna be doing that a bit, and it's like, yeah, I think it's that imagination part that people are most missing. So I want to do some of that work and plan some design thinking streams where we look at a issue and we come up with different solutions. Um, and I love the idea of doing that collaboratively with some other leaders. Uh, but yeah, working on that video this weekend. We just posted on our YouTube page, our personal Braden Miguel YouTube page, are like the closest thing to like a coming out video I have around like gender expression and identity, as well as a freestyle rap short. Um, I wonder if that's doing well out there. Song of Storms, freestyle rap king or something like that. uh, I've only been live for 40 minutes. No, that's gotta be off, right? I pushed. It was at 5:45. We're almost on an hour. I wonder where my like clock's off. 53 minutes. Okay. So I have those videos. Should be posting more. Getting into the editing groove. Uh, and then my big project now is I'll probably work on an event or two. I gotta email some people back around helping them with an event or like a campaign type thing they're doing or working on. Um, what else? Uh, get some part-time work with some like orgs, nonprofits, but the main thing will be the card game. We're gonna work on the Kickstarter page and some of the materials. I can switch back over to big big me mode. Uh, um, that we're gonna start streaming more and exploring Twitch. I think I have the most interest in exploring. I want to do more art content, um, like production planning, and for some reason, and like I do want to do some like gaming content. I do think like the best place for that to live is Twitch, and then maybe I'll get my things set up so that I can be I can do my gaming channel sometimes. Um But yeah, growing changes, growth. It's spring. I'll probably need to start working on a different space to record in the summer because I just gets way too. I either have to become a morning streamer, maybe some like goblin hours, like six. No, probably not goblin hours, but I was gonna say like 6 a.m. to like 10. 'Cause as soon as 10 a.m. hits, come like it's spring summer days. Um, Spring it's not bad till maybe like 1, and it doesn't get as bad like overall. But summer past 10, you're already like sweating, and then the heavy like the hottest part of the day, it is so hard to like do get anything done. So I don't know if I need to just prep accordingly and either find a different space or I mean I won't have a weekly show then, so I can be more flexible and do more video centered content and have some more flexibility plus like the other stuff I'm working on. I think it's funny I'm just like live recording and streaming my reflections. Um yeah, these are all different videos I'm working on or want to ideate slash record out further. Uh, and that is outline for my next peace talk video, or at least the initial outline. I'm tired though. It's a long week. Huh. And I'm still recovering from the fundraiser I put on. That was just last Saturday. It feels longer than a week. It hasn't even been a full week since it. Had over 50. We have it over actually like 90 people there. 50 young, 35 or younger. We did like a price related ticket, and it's a fundraiser for young people, and like youth leaders, which has been like another thing that's just like taken up so much of my like free time. I want to reflect on that for a moment. Events, so much work, so much harder to wing, and having to I mean, I would like fall asleep thinking about it, wake up kind of dreaming, thinking about the event, pulling it off, working with a volunteer team, which is like it's harder to do because they have their own stuff going on. So it's one of the first things that gets dropped or delayed. But not forgetting to do that part because ultimately it was the collective effort that got us there. Uh, but when you're like planning an event, having enough time is really important, and you always want to triple the amount of time you think it will take. Um, or at least as you're getting into events, you have like the new scale or type of event that you have or haven't done before. Um, and so part of me, I was working this week, but also it was just like, I'm still recovering from the last month and a half of putting on a fundraiser that raised like over I don't know what the final tally is. I mean, it took in over 2 grand. So raised close to like a grand. It wasn't like crazy, but it was our first big event. Um, and now people know how cool we are. Okay, I'm gonna log off a little early. Um, I'm just tired, y'all. And I'll catch you on the next one. And we may make some adjustments because of just like some of the reflections today. But let me start with getting some rest, catching up on life things, catching up on business goals, and we'll tune in with you again next week. Thank you for checking out our stream where we talked about some policy stuff today. Mostly just caught up. Have a good weekend, everyone.